what are the matrices, in front row that the community team is responsible for?
So, if you talk about the primary metric, it's basically retention, right?
Keeping people hooked on the app, keeping them coming back, keeping them keep pursuing and progressing in their passion. That's the primary metric, right? And then there's sub metrics, like are they getting enough validation while doing so? Are they making enough friends while doing so? Are they getting enough feedback, personalized feedback while doing so? And then these are things that we primarily focus on. So basically retention and then further sub metrics there.
Sure. Shelton, I want you to sort of come back on that question, because I think this is one question that every community team has to address, especially as the organization matures. What are some of the metrics that you guys measure at Stoa?
Okay, that's an interesting question, right? I'd say, so if you're talking about outcomes or measurement of success, I think when it comes to community, there's a bit of there's a sweet spot and there's a tough spot, right? The sweet spot is the things that you can look at that are tangible, right? So you look at, say, metrics of engagement. You look at metrics around, how many people are engaged on the platform, how many people are active, what times of the day they are active. Like Ashit said, retention, how often are they coming back, right? What are they putting out there? But something that I personally find very interesting to look at is some of the intangible outcomes that come from community, right? And to give you some examples, at least at Stoa, I think one anecdote that I can share today itself, because it's been launched today, two of our community members, or two members from different cohorts, just happened to have a short interaction on the Stoa community server on Discord over cafe on a discussion, and within, I think, over the last 4 days they've launched a project together which is now live on Product Hunt, right? And that is, like, to me, a crazy story of success, right? Like, of being able to put those people together in the room, right? So I'd say there are the tangible aspects and the intangible ones. Of course, as a business, you're looking at some of the tangible aspects. I'm still not figured out, as our business grows, how do we measure, or what score do we put for these other magical things that are happening behind the scenes in an organization or in sort of a community like Stoa's.
Right. Ritu, on that, I remember, in one of our earlier conversations, you talked about one of the impact around how the LinkedIn feed changed after one of the things that you did. Would love to know that, if you can talk about it.
Sure. So we launched the APM, the Associate Program Manager Fellowship. We had 350, aspiring PMs who signed up for this particular program. And one of the pieces we wanted to test for essentially is the best way to learn is when you start teaching it to somebody else, right? Now, how do students essentially would do that? They're not going to sit with people and start teaching. How do you internalize that learning to truly assimilate it? Why don't you talk about it on social media? And today, at the end of the day, everybody wants to go out on LinkedIn and talk about, like, this is where I am, this is what I've been doing. So we had this particular piece where we, sort of made them realize they could do this if they wanted to. Very unexpectedly, we had close to 70% of the 350 folks, actually signing up for that particular activity. They went out on LinkedIn, did this for like 30 days, every single day on Twitter and LinkedIn. And after about 3 days, we started receiving DMs from, folks in the industry who knew us over across the team saying, guys, what's happened to our LinkedIn, feeds? Everything is all about associate PMs and product managers. And what are you guys teaching that even we don't know, about? But the whole idea was, can you get your community to come together, asynchronously do something similar, but at the same time do it in such a cohesive manner that they kept rooting for each other, And I think that's, again, to what Shelton said, is one of those magical things that happen. Of course, at the end of the day, most of the work that we do, magical or not magical, it has to have some business impact. Otherwise, your business teams will start questioning you. Why are you even doing this? What is it that you want to achieve out of this activity, right? So for us, this was impressions. But if you ask me in terms of metrics and what is it that we typically look out for, is the North Star of every single learner who comes into the Next Leap ecosystem. If your North Star is, say, get a job, can we get you there? If your North Star is upskilling and ensuring that you are there, can we get you there? So anything that helps us measure that is a North Star for us then.
Got it. So to summarize, I think retention from front row, getting people together to do something which becomes something larger than what you expected from Stoa, and making members do things, making them share things, making them build in public, and link it with your community can get you a lot of organic reach. So organic reach, retention, and magical things.